Basketball's biggest week is back in 2027 and it's set to be bigger than ever. Hoops Fest is returning to Perth in January and is locked in for the next 2 years thanks to Virgin Australia. That means 10 games across 5 massive days at RAC Arena, featuring all 19 NBL and WNBL teams, with the game's biggest names coming together in one place in Western Australia. With the opening game tipping off on a Wednesday night, Hoops Fest 2027 starts earlier than ever before. Off the court, the fan zone will light up the city centre while Sneakerland returns to RAC Arena. So lock in your flights with Virgin Australia now, because from the 13th of January there'll be more teams, more games and even more happening at Hoops Fest Perth.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the national anthem of Australia.
As the NBL 27 preseason ramps up, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are once again at home here in the heartland at the State Basketball Centre, ready to take on a different kind of opponent. For many years, the St Mary's Girls had a steady pipeline of Australian players under coach Randy Bennett. But with Bennett moving on to Arizona State, it's a new era for the Gales under Mickey McConnell. And today, the Phoenix take on St Mary's in what should be a fun contest. Tom Hirsch here with you, and I'm once again joined by Jamie Hamilton in commentary. Jamie, welcome to you.
Always a pleasure to be with you, Tom. Fun game that we've got coming ahead in a couple minutes.
Absolutely, and we're also joined today by 2011 WNBL champion, Opal and international star Alice Kunek. Alice, great to have you with us today as well.
Tom, thank you so much. Really looking forward to the game and then to getting this NBL 26 season underway.
Fantastic. Well, Jamie, I'll start with you. St Mary's is a big draw here in Australia, and before we get to the Aussies on this current roster, based on what you've seen from their recent games against the Illawarra Hawks and the Sydney Kings last week, what can we expect today?
Well, they got a lot. They got a couple of really big international players. That's where their bread has been buttered in these first 2 hit-outs that they've had so far. And they want to try and push the pace a little bit as well. But new team, new coach, incredibly new kind of system and entire program that the Gales have right now. They're still feeling it out. But look for these 2 big men inside. They're going to get the ball a lot. And Geordie Hunter's going to have a lot of work for him on the defensive end.
And Alice, you've been through many pre-seasons as a pro across the globe. How important are these games at this stage for the Phoenix? And what's the focus coming into a game against an opponent they won't be facing during NBL 27?
Yeah, Tom, look, a pre-season is huge for a team. It's when you really find who your identity as a team. The players can come together and and this is a new look, I guess, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix team. So Josh King's really going to make sure that everyone knows how the style we're going to play. It's such a Josh King style of basketball game. So how they're going to play, being together as a team, getting the new imports in really quickly. You've got one import playing in today. So just getting that camaraderie together and feeling out the new offense and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and what combinations work, and really solidifying themselves moving forward.
Looking forward to getting a look at a few new members of the Phoenix today. We'll come back to that in a moment, but let's come back to the St Mary's Gales first. Randy Bennett was at the helm for 25 seasons in Moraga. Mickey McConnell was a former standout player under Bennett, had a solid 8-year pro career and was most recently the associate head coach for the Gales, and he takes over now to start a new era. There are 4 Aussies on the roster this season, headlined by Josh Dent out of Wollongong. He's the younger brother of Lockie Dent, who many of you may be familiar with. Josh is a junior this year. He averaged 13 points and nearly 6 assists last season. Luke Fennell, a Melbourne local, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix fans will be very familiar with him. He was a DP for the Phoenix back in NBL 25 and is now a Gale after transferring from Syracuse University where he played last year. Rory Hawke returns for his sophomore season. The guard from Townsville battled some injuries a couple of years ago, but he did appear in 32 games last season. He won't be taking the floor today, though, as he's still kind of ramping up from some rehab from a minor injury. And then they've got the freshman 7-footer from Sydney's Northern Beaches, Flynn Pavley, and he kind of rounds out that Aussie contingent. Whereas for the Phoenix, we're going to get our first look, as I mentioned, at Dash Daniels today, the next star who transferred from Melbourne United, Tanner Krebs, who also moved across from United, and one of their imports in Deshaun Schwartz. Alice, it was big news when Dash Daniels moved across to Southeast Melbourne. What do you think was behind that move for the second-year next star?
Look, it was a huge move, and credit to Southeast Melbourne for getting a player like Dash Daniels and the calibre of player that he is. And we saw what he could do last season when he got those moments to play. So, look, every player wants to play, and that's the way you get better. So I think the move to come to Southeast Melbourne is to get some more minutes, is to play under a coach like Josh King. Maybe United were kind of feeling their way through the season last year, but I feel like this is a really great program for him to thrive and to move forward to get to that NBA spot where he wants to be, where his brother is.
I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. And I think, as you said, that system fit is so important for him, and he really wants a chance to kind of showcase more in a more consistent role game to game what he can do. And I know early kind of conversations that have been had with him since he's moved across. He's loving the way they're playing. He's loving the support of the teammates that he has and the environment that he's in so far. And I think everyone's expecting a big year from Dash as he continues to grow into his game and look to attack that NBA draft next year. Jamie, Tanner Krebs also makes that crosstown move, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
What can we expect from Krebs today, recognising it's his first game back, coming back from a lower leg injury? He was playing with the KC Cavaliers in the NBL 1 South and obviously missed the back end of that season. But what can we expect from Tanner today?
I think his leadership is going to be a big one. We saw him playing his best game, or his best season last year at Melbourne United. He's straight into this starting lineup, as we can see. So I think a lot of leadership pairing with Angus Glover is going to be really fun. You've now got both wings with elite three-point shooting and a good amount of defense and, again, versatility, which Josh King really, really appreciates. Krebs can handle the ball when he needs to. He can go down and play a 3 at times as well, and maybe a stretch 4 in a Southeast Melbourne Phoenix kind of system. So just another bit of versatility, a whole lot of confidence, and when he's playing well, he's going to keep getting minutes. That's what we've seen from Josh King over these last couple of years.
Absolutely. Well, still no Nathan Sobey today, just being managed. He did play in the off-season in Puerto Rico, so still kind of ramping up from having some time off after that season. Skylar Mays, their import point guard, there's been a lot of talk about the impact he's going to have on the league in NBL 27. He is here, sitting on the bench today, but will not take part in today's game. And obviously their newly signed import announced just a few days ago, Giannis Morin. I believe he's in the country or he's arriving today, but obviously not yet with the team, and he won't take part today. Also, Hunter Goodrick, much to Jamie's dismay, will not be taking the floor today. He's playing in the NBL 1 East Grand Final, and so he'll be back with the team next week as they continue to ramp up ahead of the Blitz. And Pat Ryan also unavailable today. But one player who is back in Phoenix colours, who we didn't see about 10 days ago against that B-League United team, is Akech Alier. And Akech has just signed a fresh 2-year deal to stay with the Phoenix. And I think he's a player that's kind of getting better year on year as he finds his feet in the NBL. Alice, what do you think is the reason why Akech probably decided to re-sign with the Phoenix, and what can we expect with him in what is largely not a really deep front court for this Phoenix roster?
Well, I think it's all those things we spoke about, Tom, playing under Josh King, the style of play that they play. You know that he's going to reward his players. So if you play well and you do what he wants you to do, you're going to play. He's going to give you that confidence. And that's what we saw from Mikechalia. He's had a really good off-season in the NZBL in Wellington. He had a great season. He shoots the ball at a really good clip. He shot it from 43% in the off-season. So he's just that ability to stretch the floor, and what we were speaking about, the way that they can shoot the ball and the way that they can light it up and put points on the board, that just suits his game perfectly. But to be in a system to learn under these players, to learn from a Josh King and have, that type of team environment. Watching them last year, it was so fun to watch. You wanted to be a part of that. So I'm not shocked that he chose to re-sign with the Phoenix this year.
I think big year ahead for a catch. Big year ahead for the Phoenix as well, as they try and go one better from the last 2 years. They've made it to Game 3 of the semi-finals both years. Haven't quite been able to get over the hump in the grand final, and certainly that will be on their minds as NBL 27 tips off. Speaking really briefly to Mickey McConnell, the head coach of St Mary's, before the game, he talked about the team adjusting to the physicality playing against the Illawarra Hawks and the Sydney Kings, and they've had 2 goes at that now, so hopefully a little bit better prepared in this third contest, but also just getting some reps together like any other team going through a pre-season, spending time together, obviously on a big road trip as well overseas is a great way to kind of bring the team together, and he's looking forward to how this kind of helps to cement their chemistry going into his first season as a head coach. We spoke specifically about some of the Aussies on the team, and obviously Josh Dent is a starter for them and a big part of what they do, and he's been really impressed with Josh's growth year to year at this program. He's also excited for what Flynn Pavley's going to bring when he starts to ramp up, the young 7-footer. He's a freshman. He won't play a ton this year, but he will get some opportunities. And then we spoke a little bit as well about Luke Fennell and how he's kind of growing into his role, getting a bit of confidence back. He had a bit of a down year from what he expected last year at Syracuse, and really looking forward to having more opportunity here with St Mary's. So there is intrigue on both sides of the court if you're a fan of Australian hoops. There's obviously some other talented players for St Mary's we haven't even talked about yet. We'll get to them during the game, but we're just about ready for tip-off, Jamie, and let's play some basketball.
Absolutely. Starting fives for both sides for the Gales: Mantas Juzenas, Darius Bivens, Josh Dent, Sally Alternatus, and Valgenis Zaguris. And for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, Jordan Hunter, Angus Glover, the birthday boy Daniel Foster, 25 years old today, Tanner Krebs, and the import Deshaun Swartz is straight into the starting fives. Sunday afternoon hoops here in the preseason of NBL 27. Only a month or so away from the regular season tipping off. We've also got the NBL Blitz in a couple of weekends' time up in Bendigo.
Great crowd for a Sunday afternoon. It's amazing. It just shows the type of team that Phoenix are.
Hoops back in the Heartland, so the Heartland faithful, they certainly come out in droves. We are underway. It's the Gales who win opening possession. They're in the white jerseys. No numbers on the front, so good luck to the officials. And straight away making an impact is Darius Bivens.
Really nice strong take. Simple action there, and curled and got pretty deep into the paint before hitting that floater.
Making a liar out of me by not going straight inside to the big men. That's what they did in their first 2 games out here in Australia, as Tanner Krebs gets aggressive. Welcome back to the Phoenix.
I think this is a great place for Tanner Krebs to extend his career playing alongside Nathan Sobey. We saw how great Nathan Sobey's been all his career, but especially last year, MVP numbers. So for Tanner to come in and learn from someone like Nathan and go against him day in, day out, it's just going to only improve his game.
Former teammates at the Bullets as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Different parts of their career, but both of them, not even arguably, definitely playing the best basketball that we've seen them play here in Australia for sure. So, Alice, for this Gales team, a different rules set that they have to play under. You've played under various different rules. Mm-hmm. How hard is it to adjust, and how quickly can you adjust to a different style of play and a different literal rule set?
Yeah, look, the American system, especially the American college system, is very different to Australia. So, look, they've had a couple of games already under their belt, and that's a nice pass by Geordie Hunter. They've had a couple of games under their belt, but look, every game they're probably just going to have to be reminded sometimes, especially. But that's just what you've got to be as an athlete. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to play on the fly, and that's probably what their coach is looking for. People that do have that adaptability and are able to kind of work well in different environments.
One of the biggest differences is the men's college game still plays 20-minute halves,
Oh, yeah,
which is
that's crazy.
just bizarre.
That's
to be
crazy.
honest.
I think I played that in under 10s or under 12s maybe.
Krebs from the left 45 is no good. He's getting a lot of shots early.
That's what pre-season's for.
Aggressive take at the ring, and Schwartz gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Pair of free throws coming here for the Gales. Josh Dent.
You see how much Josh Dent's going to have the ball in his hands for this Mickey McConnell offense. A lot of faith in the junior out of Wollongong, and he's been delivering.
He was coming off of a all-first team in the West Conference season and all-first team academic. So he can get buckets and he gets A's as well. That's unfair. I can't do either. Gets his free throws to go as well. Healthy crowd here in the Heartland making a whole lot of noise. It was incredibly loud last night for the NBL 1 South Grand Finals. The energy has stayed as Glover. Oh my goodness.
Deep. That is deep.
Pace is first. Glover took a knock to the head. No foul either way. And the Phoenix are off and running. Hunter with his first attempt from long range is just a little bit off.
And we talked about that last time. That's become a real weapon for Geordie Hunter, that trail three from the top. Really improved last season and is going to definitely attempt a lot more of those this year. Nice follow there by Muntis Uzenis.
He's provided a whole lot of energy for the Gales on this tour so far. Of course, playing tomorrow night as well against the NBL 1 South Dandenong Rangers. As Hunter rights the wrong. It's his second attempt to go from long range.
What a luxury it is to have Geordie Hunter shooting the three ball the way he does. Just that ability to stretch the floor. That allows players like Krebs, Nathan Sobey to get downhill and get on the rim.
Well, as a fellow stretch big, how big of an impact does it have on the team and trying to, for the opposition to have to guard someone who can hit that long range shot but also do work in the paint?
Yeah, it's really tough because you think, who do you help off? And that's really where you can't actually help that much off Geordie Hunter anymore. He's proven that he shot the three ball really well. And that's where I guess we saw players like Aket Jalea coming in and doing the same thing. Well, I don't know if that was a pass or a shot.
It was unsuccessful nonetheless.
But that just allows other players to get on the rim, and you've got a player in, and that's a great take by Angus Glover, and that's probably where it is. You can't help off with Geordie Hunter, so you can get on the rim, but we'll be looking to see Dash Daniels doing exactly the same thing when he gets in. I think it's going to be really great for his confidence and his game as he checks in now.
You spoke it into existence. It's almost like you know a thing or two about basketball, Alice.
I try my best.
One-on-one, tough look for Bivens. Tanner Krebs, there's that versatility on defense. And Phoenix are off.
Always looking to push the pace, always looking for early shots.
Oh, Krebs and Hunter, it's clear that those two have never played together. Krebs will take a seat, as will Hunter. As we see Aket Jalea and Dash Daniels, and a healthy applause as Dash Daniels takes the floor for the first time in the charcoal and green.
I know there was a bit of footage of Dash at the Boomers closed scrimmages at courtside Melbourne earlier in the week, but Dash Daniels actually spent the last 3 months in Atlanta working out with former NBA player Wes Matthews and scrimmaging with the Overtime Elite squad down there as well. So he's been working really hard in the off-season to improve his game and attack this season.
And I think he's going to come in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I would be if I was him, showing just his versatility. As we see Angus Glover let one fly, showing how good he is on the defensive end, but also on the offensive end. We saw all those glimpses in the United season, but I think he'll be wanting to take that to the next level.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Mismatch down in the low block and a nice easy finish for Zugris.
He's a big unit.
That is a man amongst boys out there.
Listed at 6'8", but he's got a healthy amount of size on him as well, as Schwartz is no good. Just on Dash Daniels as well, it almost felt like Dean Vickerman maybe lost a bit of confidence in him, and especially with how, turbulent that season was. Under Josh King, if he plays well, he's going to keep getting minutes. So you can see that confidence and that chip on his shoulder is really being used in its best spot right now, I guess.
And that's a nice move by Altunis down low, nice little turn over the shoulder, but that's what it is. And unfortunately, he was a product of probably just a bit how tumultuous the United season was last year, and it's probably not a direct reflection of him, but probably just how the season went for that group and trying to find things that were working. And I think under a Josh King, like we spoke about, if you do what he asked you to do, you will be rewarded.
Errant pass there by Bivens. You can see the Gales are really trying to get that ball inside, but passes have just been a little bit off the radar. As we've got a timeout called here by the Gales. 10 plays 7, 4.5 minutes left in this opening quarter. We're about to see Sam Davidson check in for the Phoenix, and there is still that one roster spot available, I believe.
Yeah, there is, for one local, yep.
And so we've got in this game for the Phoenix, Sam Davidson, Deng Dutt, Kingsley Box and Jack King, all NBL 1 players, all kind of that 1-2, can maybe stretch to a 3 maybe for King. So it's not just about getting the reps in and getting to know these teammates. For some of these guys, they're fighting for a contract right now.
They are, and it'll be really interesting to see what Josh King does with that spot, what position he prioritises. I think it's probably fair to say there isn't pure point guard depth on this roster, whereas there is a lot of depth on the wings. So whether that gives potentially Sam Davidson a leg up, I don't know. I mean, we don't really know what Josh King's thinking behind the scenes.
Does anyone know what Josh King's thinking?
No. But, certainly from what we saw in that game against B-League United, none of these players did themselves a disservice by the way they took the floor that night. And, Sam Davidson's someone who comes in and just plays with energy and effort. We saw him diving on the floor for loose balls many times, coming up with steals, making shots when he was open, making the right plays. And
had that ridiculous dunk as well.
Yeah, I did. That's sneaky hops indeed. But those sorts of qualities is, exactly how Josh King wants to play, and that will resonate with him, that's for sure.
And look, there is no secret that they're going to miss the likes of an Owen Foxwell out there. What he did for this team as Glover lets one go he was amazing. He played some really incredible basketball, and this team's really going to miss them. But that is just a chance for someone to step up. And I think what Josh King would want is someone who's secure with the ball, who can set the team up, and who can also be aggressive at the rim.
Aggressive take to the ring.
It's Vangelis Zugris again. Fouls against Ellis Biggar, his first personal. Third team foul against the Phoenix.
Big test right now for Ellis Biggar. He's got a couple of big bodies that he's going to have to match up against, but someone who's put on a lot of size in the last 12 months or so, and we saw him give it a red-hot crack in that game against B-League United. Maybe didn't quite have his radar on in that game, but he's got a serious test right now as Jazz Gardner's checked in for the Gales.
And Zugris on the foul line had some years in Louisville, which you can see he's just that one step ahead of everyone in the team. And he's also played in Pedesteri in Athens, so he has played some high-level basketball. And especially as a Greek player, you know the way they play. It's always going to be really high-level IQ.
Gardner with the block, and then the quarterback pass right on the money.
So Davidson tried to get into the teeth of the defense, but Gardner had other ideas.
Here's Dash. Confident take to the basket. Just rolls out, but it'll head to the free throw line.
And a chance for Dash to get his first points in Phoenix colours.
Gardner called for that foul. Angus Glover's going to take a seat. Deng Dutt in. Dutt one. We talk about point guards and the Phoenix needing a point guard. 1 assist shy of a double-double in that game against B-League United. Had 5 assists in that fourth quarter alone. That ball was whipping around for the Phoenix. Daniels at the line. Looks like he's got a bit bigger as well, doesn't it? Added on a bit of size. He's still growing.
What a luxury. He's still got size to put on, which is great. He's got a really bright future ahead.
12 plays 14. As Davidson gets called for that foul.
I really like the way this Gales team has come out. They are playing against a senior team and a professional team, but you wouldn't even know that they've come out thinking they're, anything less. So I love the way that they're being aggressive at the rim, and they're also fighting for positions for their season as well.
Completely new system here. 10 new players, a brand new head coach. It's a new look Gales team, and they're finding their feet right under our noses. That shot's no good. Lee's battling in that low block. Foul called off the ball.
Yeah. It's on Miles Chi.
Number 77, Miles Chang, picks up his first personal foul.
Third team foul, against St Mary's.
So fresh 14 for the Phoenix as well. Lovely inbound. Deng do it. That's how he did his work last Thursday. And he keeps going right now.
Simple back cut, and Miles Che just lost Dash Daniels.
He ties us up at 14 apiece. And he's what we've come to expect from Dash, harassing that ball.
Well, that's just a typical Josh King defense, isn't it? Everyone's up, hands active, switching. There you go.
Quintessential Phoenix basketball right now. Aaliyah down the lane. Places it in for two.
And Josh King will be loving that on both ends of the floor. The effort to create the turnover and then pushing ahead as quickly as possible, filling the lanes and rewarding the big man who came up with the steal.
Josh King has his hands in his pockets. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life.
Normally he's doing some serious stretching. There's movement. He's running.
It's too early in the day for him.
I don't think that's a thing with him, to be honest.
Oh, he's got an offensive foul called on Dash.
It's against Ellis Bigger.
Excuse me, you're right. Called for the moving screen.
That's the second on Bigger.
And that's just those little things of working out how each other's playing together. So Big setting screens on guards waiting that little bit longer. It is the preseason, so you're excited to get on the rim, but that's just when you learn to play together and see what other people really like to do.
And it's always the guard's fault, correct?
Oh, I'm a guard, so I'm going to say it's the Big. It depends what I'm playing, big or guard.
Yeah. Che to the ring with the left, can't get the bounce. I always got blamed when I was playing a guard, so. Here's Do It with 14 on the shot clock. Davidson, quick release, is a bit too strong. Oh, fancy footwork here from the Gales. And the bounce is no good, but the ball will stay with St Mary's. As a catcher Lee gets called for a hold on the rebound.
Bonus free throws here for St Mary's. And Luke Fennell about to check in for his first action. We're going to have a substitution on the shooter here, so he'll hope that Jazz Gardner can make these two, or at least make the second. Every bit of the rim.
The absolute tempter. Crowd starting to make a little bit of noise as well. And second goods, and welcome back to your home court, Luke Fennell. Knox Raiders Jr. takes the floor for the first time this afternoon. Took over a minute left in this opening quarter. Phoenix lead it by 1. Aaliyah draws a crowd. What a pass, and Bigger throws it down.
Lovely read from Aaliyah, and recognised where the help was coming from, and great big-to-big action, great dive from Bigger as well.
Frustrating last game for Ellis Bigger. That'd be nice to see that go down. As Che left it a bit short. And that ball's going to go the way of the Phoenix. Daniels gets a switch, bigger. He's got a bit of confidence now. Strong take to the cup.
He's been really impressive in this first quarter, just the way he's been able to handle that physicality and get downhill on the ring, finish with confidence.
Shot clock's unplugged here for St Mary's. So Che's going to hold it up. Oh, and it's just thrown out of bounds. There's that defensive pressure from the Phoenix.
Exactly right, Jamie. Dash Daniels and Sam Davidson up and in. Denial as well, no handoff allowed. And they've created an extra possession for the Phoenix here with 7.3 left on the clock.
7 on the game clock.
Davidson's going to walk it over half court. Aliir lost the handle, got the shot up anyway, and it's just a little bit strong. Quarter time here in the Heartland. And the Phoenix lead this one by 5. 20 plays 15.
Well, I mean, we saw the Phoenix play pretty much how they want to play. That defensive pressure is their hallmark, trying to push in transition off those stops wherever they can. But what I was more impressed about was Mickey McConnell's team wanted to adjust to the physicality that they faced in their first 2 games against Illawarra and Sydney, and I think they came out with a real intent to play a bit stronger, to attack on the inside and really hold their own defensively in the paint against some of these bigger units of the Phoenix. So a good start for St Mary's. I think we're in for a competitive game here today.
Yeah, and as we look at that percentage, South East Melbourne only shooting a 3-ball at 20%, which is a bit uncharacteristic for them. And conversely, on the other side, you talking about them trying to get in the paint. They've only had 3 3-point attempts, the Gales. But that's just 2 different styles of basketball play and kind of working out each other's style. But I was really impressed with the Gales' defensive effort. They had all 5 players packing in. Every time a South East Melbourne player wanted to drive, they were met with 2 players. And that's what makes that defensive move together, and that's what builds camaraderie.
See some of the scoring leaders coming up on your screen now, but something else that's caught my eye is 13 rebounds to 6. The Gales with an advantage on the boards in that first quarter, and 4 offensive rebounds to nothing. So great work to really control those possessions for the Gales. Unfortunately, they did turn the ball over 7 times to just 2, and that's that defensive pressure of the Phoenix that we were speaking about a moment ago. So that's one area they'll need to improve, is ball security coming into this second period. But they've come to play today, and it's been a really competitive contest over the first 10 minutes.
I'm really looking forward to see how Luke Fennell goes in this second quarter. This is a moment for him to really step up and prove why he deserves to be over in that college system. We know that he didn't have the best time at Syracuse. He only just played those 10 games, and this is his chance to be in a new system. He's got Aussies around him, so coming against his old club, it looks like he hasn't put on a huge amount of size, which I'm sure he will during the season, but this is his moment to step up and show his coach what he can do.
Pre-season hoops in NBL 27. Jamie Hamilton, Tom Hurst and Alice Kunek here with you. Not too far away from the regular season. We've got the Blitz as well. So much basketball coming up in the next couple of weeks. Angus Glover barely touched the ball and got it off for 3.
Doesn't take much. He's just, after the season he had last year, he's just got so much confidence every time he lets it fly. Really become one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBL.
So how do the Gales respond for a couple of 3s going down? Off the curl cut. They respond with a triple of their own.
And that's Uzanis out of Lithuania.
Typical international flavour with this St Mary's roster.
Big time.
Krebs wants to get in on the fun. A little bit too strong. Now it's the Gales looking to go inside again. There's a clear size advantage. Bivens weaving his way through. 6 seconds here, and the shot is a little bit too strong for Altunis. Schwartz for 3, gets it down.
We'd be happy to see that one go down. Just coming into a new program, a new system, finding his way. if he has the ability to stretch that floor and shoot the three ball at a great percentage, that's just going to do wonders for the Phoenix.
So 26 plays 18. Bivens off balance. No good off the glass. Geordie Hunter, he's battling down low.
And you just know Geordie Hunter's just going to give you absolutely everything on the offense and defensive end. And I think this season will be really pivotal for him is to stay in the game and not get in foul trouble. We have seen that throughout the seasons he's played, that he does give you his everything and he gives you his heart and soul. But it's those moments where you really need him to lock in and not get that third or fourth foul and keep him on the floor because he's so important for this team.
Well, 2 fouls in the first quarter pretty much every game this season. And that's the way to make him a non-factor is he gets the lob, but it's spoiled in the air. Well, Chunja's looking like he should be on the MCG with that spoil. Now battling Hunter. A little bit too aggressive. Took a hard foul.
A little bit of a late call, but head contact called by Bianca Vernon, so you can't argue with that. Did probably got it clean up top and caught the head on the way down.
Yeah, Zugris will head to the line for 2.
Just coming back to Deshaun Schwartz for a moment. He shot at 40% from 3 last year in Germany, so he certainly has that pedigree, and I think that's one of the reasons why Josh King signed him for this season, what he can do on the wing defensively, but just as, again, another player who can stretch the floor and help this offense flourish.
Yeah, and he's got that versatility. He can play the 2 through to 4, so having that ability to go inside and go outside for this team, and he looks long, he looks athletic, and that's the style of play that Josh King wants from his players.
2 for 2 from the line for Zugris. No, 1 for 2, excuse me. 26 plays 19. Patient offense here by the Phoenix, but Glover, he's run off the 3-point line. And then the lovely hands by Josh Dent. That's 2 Wollongong boys going at
indeed.
it. Would not surprise me if...
Angus and Lockie are good mates, I know that.
Yeah, exactly
I'm
right.
sure Josh has spent a lot of time around Gus growing up back in the day.
If there's anyone to look up to as a player, we've got a late foul called. It'll stay with the Phoenix. And Chunta's called for that one. Doesn't like the call, but if there was no contact, the ball probably wouldn't have gone out of bounds.
It's the first on Altunas.
So a fresh 14 for the Phoenix as well. Oh, Glover, just a sloppy preseason turnover. And then Schwartz commits the accidental foul. Number 2 for him. Second team foul on the home side.
That's just those moments as a player, as you let it go, you just go, oh my gosh, I wish I had that moment back right away.
The rewind button like in Forza or something. 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. All the way of southeast Melbourne to start.
And that's a nice Spanish action by the Gales out there. They had that third player come in, and that's when the defense really has to know who do they defend, and they had that open 3.
Hunter. He's battling hard in the paint.
I've been really impressed with Altunas. He spent some time with Anadolu Efes, their under-19 squad. It's a great team in Turkey. And you can just tell he's got that body, that physicality. He's not shying away from the moment right now.
Yeah, this isn't a college player. That's a man out there. It's Hunter again. 3rd time's the charm for him as he'll head to the free throw line.
Foul's going to go against Josh Dent. I really like the way Altunas is kind of coming across in help coverage defensively as well, and just does a really good job of walling up there, as you saw on that play, and just making life difficult, whether it's Geordie Hunter catching or someone driving. He seems to be in the right place defensively every time.
And that's probably that international experience and the defense that they're taught from such a young age. I know for myself playing over in Europe so many years, that is just the defense you were taught, that help side defense. And once it's kind of locked in your mind, you know, it's something that comes so naturally. So just to see him out there just walling up and being really strong and being really physical, he's doing a great job out there, especially against Geordie Hunter.
And this is a really... this matchup would really excite Josh King because Geordie gets to match up against a big-bodied player, someone that he's going to come up against in the regular season, and someone who's not playing at 50% right now. You know, yes, they're warming up, but you can see that these guys are playing at 100%. Ball movement here by the Gales, going inside, and
great hands by Hunter just to get back into play.
Had a big impact the last minute or so with Schwartz. No good from 3. Great hustle by Zugris to keep that alive.
Probably a bit of an early look by Schwartz there. He didn't have many plays in there to get the rebound, but that's probably just working it out as we get another look from Zugris out there. But that's just probably working out how you fit in that system and what's a good shot and what's probably not the best shot. And probably in the preseason you want to see the ball go through many different hands and see many different looks to get the defense moving.
Keeps it alive and somehow finds Schwartz, who attacks the basket, but it's waved away as Geordie Hunter is called for a foul off the ball again. And
I think that's an unlucky foul right there.
It's a great take by Schwartz.
Yeah.
Saw a bit of what he's about when he explodes.
Zugris, he's so excited that offensive foul, that moving screen got called. He went up and shook Brad Henshaw's hand, saying thank you for finally calling it.
We talked about the international flavour of this girls program. They have 5 internationals on the floor right now. Not a single American player out there right now. We've got a Greek, we've got a Lithuanian, we've got 2 Aussies, and we've got a man from Turkey.
The bounce doesn't go for that man from Turkey. Here's the birthday boy Foster. First minutes of he started this game. First minutes of the second quarter.
Gales are just so active on the defensive end.
Oh, lovely up and under there from Deshaun Schwartz.
Great patience down low.
And that's just experience down there on the block.
Foster's not making life comfortable. Zugris, aggressive, deflected away, and it goes the way of the Phoenix. And that's going to go back to the Gales, last off the foot of Dash.
I think everyone might need to just have a breath of fresh air out
Yeah,
there.
I don't think anyone's complaining. We've got to catch Aaliyah checking back in as Schwartz takes a seat.
Thomas Endong just checked back in. He's a Canadian, so another bit of international flavour for this girls program.
Six seconds here for St. Mary's. Dash just caught.
It's great help by Dash. It was a great defensive play. We saw that they pushed them all the way up to the halfway line. They were setting that screen basically on the halfway. So if I was Josh King, I'd be really happy with that possession.
Just caught a little bit on the arm, says referee Ruben Woolcock.
Interesting that Nathan Sobey, the one pacing the sidelines for the Phoenix right now, and Josh King sitting with arms and legs folded.
Well, I saw Geordie Hunter come off and Sobes was up straight away telling him what he should do.
Love that leadership, though.
Yeah, that's great. And that's what this team needs.
Adam Gibson was patrolling the sidelines as well at times. They're really sharing the love right now. Well, those players in street clothes are never going to get to do it during the regular season because Josh King does not sit down unless it's literally on the floor on the sideline at times.
Darius Bivens just checked back in for St. Mary's. Luke Fennell takes a seat.
Inside to Ellis Biggar. And he's called for the walk.
The flow of this game has just kind of gone away a little bit the last couple of possessions.
South East Melbourne have really picked up their defence, picking up from basically baseline to baseline. So sure, they spoke about it in that quarter time huddle, just that they needed to improve their defence and not give such easy looks.
Great ball movement by the Gales. Jazenis no good from 3. And the Phoenix are off immediately. But St. Mary's are not letting it come easy. Defense has been at a premium. Shot clock down to 5. Aaliyah catches that one with his head and still gets the bounce. One of the and one.
I think he deserved it. That was a great finish, tough finish. He may have had a bit of contact down there.
And strong enough to play through it. And this intensity that the Phoenix play with, St Mary's are probably not used to it, as Darius Bivens just calls me out immediately, says that was too easy.
Well, there's nothing easy about that shot. He really had to extend over the top of Alir, who was right there with him. Just a really good finish by that young man.
Yeah, freshman doing that, having that kind of confidence. Foster finds a lane and draws a hard foul.
And knew he was going to wear the contact and just attacked, earned himself a trip to the free throw line on his birthday.
Foster is another one that's really going to probably look to step up this season. He played some really good minutes last season for the Phoenix. I was really quite impressed with him. But I think, without the likes of an Owen Foxwell, he has that ability to step up. He's played under Josh King. He knows this system. So this is where his moment is this season.
Well, signed as a DP and then ended up being elevated to that full roster spot. And he's got the size of a 2-3 kind of player, but the ball handling of a point guard is a guy that I say this every time I call a game with his. Angus Glover called him a bulldog, and that's exactly how he plays. And I do expect him to take that step up in NBL 27. As Dash Daniels just called for that foul. That's bonus free throws.
While we're waiting for the free throws, would you believe I've just found another Aussie connection on this St Mary's team? So Jazz Gardner, who just checked into the game again, he played a little bit in the first quarter, is actually the son of former Townsville Crocodiles import Jelani Gardner.
Oh.
So thank you to Daniel, who sent me that information. So another Aussie connection of this Gales program. It's a distant one, but
if there's ever an Australian connection with the Gales, I'm sure we'll find it. They're out there.
Played in the 06-07 season for the Townsville Crocs.
Wow.
It is a credit to the Australian program that the Gales bring so many through for over 20, 30 years. So it is such a credit to the way as Australians they play, the heart, the soul, the way they come in, and especially as people. And that's what coaches are looking for, to be good players, but you also want great people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, near on 30 Australians have played there at this point.
Oh, must be.
Over 25. I believe it's around 30 at this point.
Geordie Hunter, Tanner Krebs, two examples of that.
Of course, a number of...
Angus Glover was actually committed to St Mary's and then changed his mind and became a DP with the Illawarra Hawks instead.
3 seconds trying to get out of this Dash Daniels
straight
jacket.
Great job by Dash not to foul there.
Yep.
Pick up his third.
Here he is, head full of steam. Way too easy at the cup. That's the Dash we want to see.
So explosive on that first step, but he just has such great body control. When he gets on the rim, he has that ability to hold off the defender and finish strong.
Look at Daniel Foster putting in work defensively. Open look for three is all the bottom of the net for Zougaras.
Let him know about it too.
Feels like he is the emotional barometer of this Gales team, Zougaras. Plays with so much heart.
He's Greek, of course.
I've
never met a non-emotional Greek.
That's a good point.
That's a great pass by a leader, Geordie Hunter down low.
I think Gardner got a piece of it.
Yeah, wore it out of the points by Gardner.
That Zougaras 3 was just the second triple of the game for this St Mary's team. Another one of those rule adjustments, the FIBA three-point line, obviously, just that little bit further out than the NCAA line, can make a little bit of a difference.
Not in modern basketball. They're shooting it from half court, basically. 90 seconds left in quarter number 2. Exploding to the ring. Hunter sends that shot into the crowd.
No, sir, said Geordie Hunter.
He's still got hops.
Who needs hops when you're that tall anyway? But being that tall and jumping? Come on.
Perfectly timed from the weak side, though, Geordie.
Gizenas. No good from 3. Here comes Dash. One step too quick. He'll head to the free throw line. As Che gets called for that foul.
I think you hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago, Alice, talking about Dash's control when he gets downhill. But I also I think that first step is a little bit more explosive than what we saw last year and definitely more confident. And I feel like he knows when it's time to attack now rather than almost feeling like he has to attack at certain points of the game. And you saw a good example of it right there.
Yeah, and he just read the defence and just must have seen that head check. They were ready for him to come off the on-ball because he's so good at coming off that on-ball, but just being able to read the defence, split that head down, get on the rim downhill and finish at the rim.
Che takes a seat with his second foul. Juzenis having a rest as well as Fennell comes back in.
And Dash's foul shot looks really nice. He looks really confident.
Just checking the numbers from last season
as
you're
really
saying
well.
that.
Looks really confident. Obviously, it's the pre-season, but you hope that, as he misses, of course, the commentator's curse.
It wasn't me this time.
Rebound.
Box in rhythm. No good.
But you hope that that can extend out into the season and also in his three ball because we've seen he can shoot the three, but he needs to do that confidently, and that's just going to change his game.
The pressure from the Phoenix. We'll stay with St Mary's. Shot clock down to red numbers. Zugris somehow gets it off, and oh my goodness!
Of course he made that. Of course he made that.
Is that 2 from 2 from the three from him?
He's up to 13 points. You're exactly right. 2 for 2. Foul called. I believe that was called on Fennell. And Dash is going to head back to the free throw line.
He's 3 out of 4 so far today. He was 11 of 29 on the season last year from the free throw line, as we've got a timeout called by St Mary's with 39.8 left in his first half.
And he's got a nice stroke. That's probably a confidence thing. That's probably, he may not have been feeling himself in that United offense and the way that things were going for them, but when you're in, everyone can shoot the free throw when there's the lights are off and everything, but it's that confidence thing, and that's what shooting the free throw is. It's how you feel in the team, how you feel by your coach. Do you feel like you're accepted in the team and what you bring is really great? So you can see already that he feels confident in this lineup.
Absolutely. I mean, Jamie and I called him for a fair few games last year in the NBL 1 when he was playing for Sandringham. And, with much less pressure in those games, less eyes on him, he was just looked a lot more relaxed going about what he needed to do out on the court, and his stroke looked a lot more pure as well. Whereas under the bright lights at John Cain Arena, with all of those expectations as the big name next star, as the younger brother of Dyson and everything that kind of puts on a young player's shoulders, it looks like he's certainly matured from that experience last year. And I think you're absolutely right, Alice, that we're in to see big things out of him. And there was a lot of buzz for him last year as a potential top 10 pick in the draft. And now he kind of needs to rebuild that draft stock, and I think we're going to see him do exactly that this season. I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up a lottery pick again when next year's draft rolls around. Yeah,
and I know that's always going to be the focus for him, but I think right now for him is making South East Melbourne his focus. The rest will take care of itself. It's a little bit of that trust the process thing, and the outcome will take care of it, but kind of be where your feet are, and I think that'll be a really big thing for Dash this year is he makes the first one, he's just kind of be where his feet are, focus on playing the best basketball he can for the South East Melbourne Phoenix, and the results will take care of itself.
Inspiring words.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna write that down. I'll get that tattooed on my neck. Missed the second free throw. 16 seconds between shot and game clock.
Look, there is a lot of expectation and pressure on someone like Dash, but that's where you've got to be really level-headed and just kind of, what is the outcome and the goal right now? No, you're bang on. Aggressive take to the ring. Hunter called for the foul.
Lear trying to claim it.
And that's the South East Melbourne defence. So the guards are all up and in. That's the way that Josh King wants them to play. But then it's that second line of defence. And we sometimes see Geordie Hunter get pretty frustrated because he's always that second line of help. I would feel the same if I was him, because you're constantly helping and then you're the one getting in, I guess, in trouble and foul trouble. But that's where the guards probably need to do a little bit of a better job of keeping their player in front of them. And then Geordie Hunter doesn't have to kind of reach in and be that second line of help moment to moment and keeping him in the game. It's
a great point, and I think that's where, My one question mark around this roster is that depth at that kind of 4-5 position. We obviously last year when you have John Brown there as your starting 4 who can play back up 5 and the elite defence he brought, that was less of a problem. But that's gone now this year. We'll have to see obviously what Giannis Morin is like, but he's apparently a very strong defensive player as well, and that should help. And also take a bit of pressure off Geordie to always be that last line of defence. 5
seconds here for the Phoenix. Alir with the step back. Left it too strong. Gad from three-quarter court. Hits the back of the backboard somehow. That's incredibly impressive. Halftime here in the Heartland. The Phoenix lead this one by 5 points, 38, plays 33.
Well, an even quarter that time, 18 apiece, so the Gales certainly staying with it. It looked at one point like the Phoenix might bust open the lead and build it out to double digits, but the Gales just kept attacking, a little bit of luck with some of those shots. But
sometimes all he needs a bit of luck.
Yeah, but kept battling, got themselves to the free throw line, played pretty solid defence for the most part, held Southeast Melbourne to just 18 points in that second period. And yes, it's pre-season, but again, you want a good battle, you want to be tested, you want to have to really execute the schemes you've been working on in practice and test those out. So I think Josh King will be happy with what he's getting out of this game so far, but another 20 minutes to go.
And 2 of 10 in the first quarter from 3. The Phoenix were just the 5 3-point attempts in that second quarter. Is that surprising? Is that a mindset shift? Or is that more the Gales switching up their defence and making life uncomfortable?
I think that was the Gales switching up their defence. They haven't played a team. Sydney's a very different team to what the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are. So probably adjusting to who are your lights-out shooters like an Angus Glover. Even that one that he had in the corner, he had a hand to his face. So it's probably that adjusting of the defence. They do look like they are a pack-the-paint defence. You can see all 5 players are active. But it's just about figuring out who are your three-point shooters, who can we help off, which aren't many. But it's good to see that they were able to adjust. They came out in that second quarter and they adjusted on the defensive end. And then conversely on the offensive end, they were able to stay aggressive. And when your 3 ball's not dropping, making sure you get into the rim and getting fouls. So they did a great job.
Tom, who's impressing you from the Gales right now?
Well, Vangela Zugris leads all scorers in the game with 13 points. He's 4 out of 5 from the field. He's made 2 triples, as Alice pointed out. That second one was a bit of a desperation heave. He also has 4 rebounds, so he's put in some nice work. And Josh Dent's had a nice impact from the Aussie contingent with 7 points. He's their second leading scorer, a couple of assists as well. He's been tested a little bit by the Phoenix defence, by the pressure of Foster and Glover at times, but I thought he's acquitted himself pretty well so far, whereas for the Phoenix, Glover has 8 points, Dash Daniels has 8 points, and really relishing in these extended opportunities here today. And I've also, we talked about the help defense of Geordie Hunter at times, but I've also liked the impact that Dan Foster's had. Just playing good, straight-up defense, ball pressure, moves the ball when he needs to, makes the right decisions, Dan Foster, never overcomplicates anything for himself. So some good signs there for him as he continues to grow into his role. And, we spoke about that against the B-League United team a few weeks ago, and Foster another year under his belt in this program, got the full trust and faith of Josh King, and Alice, you're starting to see that today with your first look of Dan in this pre-season as well. But there's a young man who will continue to get minutes, and they might be spot minutes given the depth and the addition of Skylar Mays, etc. But he's someone you could throw out there to have an impact, eat up some space, be physical defensively as well, and I think that's what Josh King loves about Foster.
Yeah, and you feel like he's always really calm in the moment. The moment comes, and especially we saw in the season last year, he didn't get overawed by the moment. If he made a mistake, he didn't put his head down. He kind of just stayed really even keel, and that's what you want from someone like that, because they're just going to keep growing in confidence, and you can tell that a Josh King does have that confidence in him, so he keeps putting him out there. So just the way that he plays, and he plays with that maturity. He doesn't look like he plays that he's a younger guy, but what I was really impressed with was their new import, Schwartz, coming in. He hit a triple, he got downhill on the ring, so we've seen a little bit of what he can do out there, and he's long, like we were saying, he's able to stretch the floor offensively and defensively and play multiple positions. So I think it's going to be really great to see how he really acclimatizes into this Phoenix team moving forward and for their success this season.
A quick break from us here. The second half not too far away. At the main break, the Phoenix lead this one by 5 points. Halftime here in the Heartland, and it's the Phoenix who lead over the St. Mary's Gales, 38 plays 33. Jamie Hamilton, Tom Hirsch, and Alice Kunik here with you. Fun game we've had so far, and you can see that the physicality is at a really high level, which we expect in the NBL, but boy, the Gales have brought the physicality in this game so far.
Yeah, they definitely have, and I think looking at the lineup that they have of a lot of Europeans, Americans, a lot of Australians out there, they're not shying away from the physicality in this game, and I think it's great. They're really stepping it up, and that's what they're going to need going into their season, because ultimately they're getting ready for their season in the NCAA. So it's been really great to see. It's been a really good hit out from both teams. Both teams have made adjustments on the defensive end. It'll be interesting to see how in the second half they make those adjustments as well.
And Tom, who's stood out for you for the Phoenix so far? Maybe not one of the superstar names. Who's one of the auxiliary players, the potential future superstars? Who stood out to you so far?
I think I like the impact that Akechali's had off the bench in that reserve big man role, and we've seen him do it before, but he's a guy that doesn't always get to play, but I feel like whenever he does get out there in a decent array of minutes in a particular contest, he usually finds a way to have an impact on both ends of the floor. He's got a really unique skill set in terms of being able to stretch the floor, put it on the floor, but defensively takes up a lot of space with that length as well, and he's just a good teammate. He's a good guy that will help you defensively. He'll be in the right positions. He'll work hard. He'll move the ball. And he tends to have a nice positive impact when all those things come together, and he gets a solid amount of minutes in a particular game. So that's what we're kind of seeing here tonight from Alir. And, in that first half he had, 4 points, but took the right shots, 2 of 5 from the field, had a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists, 2 steals as well, just doing a little bit of everything in his 11 minutes so far off the bench.
And I think a big thing about that is what you were saying is taking the right shots. So when players come from the off-season where they can probably take as many shots as they want, and some players have never seen a bad shot in the off-season, it's then coming into a new system, new team, but making sure you are taking those right shots and also making the right decisions. Sorry, Jamie, all yours.
No, that was perfect. I was going to go to you, but for both of you, of these Aussies that we've seen so far for St. Mary's, what have we liked out of the whole team, but specifically with these Aussies?
I mean, I think for Josh Den, it's pretty obvious that he's very comfortable in this system and very comfortable with ball in hand, and will just continue to grow each year he's in this program. And I think this is a year, he had a lot of accolades last season already, but now coming into his junior season, there's a lot of faith and trust from the coaching staff for him to run the ship here, and I think we'll see him grow and have a really strong season. And he's a young man who's going to go on to have a good pro career. We don't know where or what level yet, but he will have a good pro career somewhere coming out of his days here at St. Mary's. Luke Fennell, as Alice mentioned before, it's a bounce back year for him. It didn't work out for him at Syracuse. He's got a second chance here, and I think he's still feeling his way into this system, into this scheme, into this roster, and obviously under a new head coach as well. But I think the more reps he gets, it's very early in their preseason process, but the more reps he gets in this system, the more he'll feel comfortable and start to have an impact.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me, Tom, is he just needs to put on that size. We can see how physical this game is and how long the season is in the NCAA, the amount of games they're playing and the physicality. I think that'll really go a long way for him to play a lot more minutes. Is just being able to put on that little bit of size for him to play a bit more.
Third quarter underway, preseason hoops in the Heartland. And that's some elite work by Alchuntis. Keep that ball alive for the Gales.
There's 2.6 on the shot clock here, though. You're going to have to go quick.
And these are great moments where teams can work out what do you do when it's late shot clock, who do you go to, who's going to be your go-to person to get that shot off.
You've got to get the ball in first. Right, off the inbound, way too strong for Gizenas. And the Phoenix are off. Glover with the jam.
And that's his heads up from Glover. Contested the 3-ball and just got out and ran straight away, trusting that his teammate will come up with the D-board.
And there's a guy that's still in mid-season form. Never seen a breakaway dunk he doesn't love. Good attack here by the Gales. Not getting the bounce, and that basket's going to be waved away as Altuntas just a little bit too overzealous on the rebound.
Geordie Hunter very good at selling contact. Not to say there wasn't contact there, absolutely was, but he's very good at kind of accentuating it and making sure the referees see it so he gets that call.
If there was an
but
Oscar,
that's a pro's
he'd win
pro.
it.
Are you calling him a flopper?
No, not at all.
Glover.
I love Geordie Hunter.
It's that triple to drop.
Glover very quickly up to 13 points now. Becomes the equal game-high scorer.
Krebs called for that foul, just couldn't quite get in position. And for Angus Glover, coming off of career-high numbers last season, career-high in points, career-high in shooting, I believe. Are we expecting him to take yet another step this season?
I think he can. I think he will. I think it's his leadership that's going to be huge out there, especially looking at a player like Tanner Krebs, who's come in, probably hasn't had the impact straight away that we're hoping for, and I'm sure he will. He's come off an injury. He's in a new system, new team, so it's going to take him some time to find his feet, but that's where someone like Glover can really help him and guide him in what he needs to do in this system.
Shot clock down to single figures.
Oh, I think he was open.
Zougaris got to get it off, gets it to go. Tough take from the big man.
I like that as well. Didn't settle for the 3-ball. Recognised he had 2 or 3 seconds left and used them all.
Oh, Foster stops on a dime. Gales wanted to travel. Glover.
That's going up.
Yeah, way too much space. Draws the foul. He's got 3 trips to the free throw line. Josh Dent just closed out a little bit too hard.
And he knew right away that was a bad decision for that foul because Glover was very deep, late shot clock.
And just a correction, foul called on the floor, so the Phoenix have a fresh 14. It just landed, says referee Brad Henshaw. Here's Krebs. How do you think Krebs and Glover are going to work together? Because it seems like they play very similar positions.
I mean, they've played together before at Ringwood a couple of years ago in the NBL 1, so there is that level of familiarity. And
here we go.
Breakaway here.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
Wow.
Zougaris with authority.
Wasn't expecting that finish.
Continues to impress.
Here's Schwartz. Probably could have taken that shot, had a bit of space.
I'm with you, Tom, on that. I think Krebs and Glover actually play a really nice style of basketball, and they can conversely, as we see Krebs get to the ring, just with that patience. Mm-hmm. They both play very similarly, but I think, they're both really good people. They're going to kind of fit, he's going to fit into this system really well, just the way Angus Glover has. I think it'll be more for Krebs just how much he can give on the defensive end that keeps him out there.
Yep.
Shot clock getting low. Step back for Bivens. Just a little bit short, but he's going to keep possession for the Gales.
One thing I liked about Tanner Krebs last year is he really took advantage of extended minutes when there were injuries on that United roster, and we saw him have some big games in the absence of Chris Golding at times, and I think that helped him kind of grow in confidence because he's been a player in this league that's been threatening to take on a bigger role and kind of break through for a few years now, dating back to when he was still in Brisbane even. It didn't quite work out that way for him at United, but certainly shown moments. And I think this is a great opportunity for him this year in this kind of system where it's more high pace. There's going to be more shots to be had, more opportunities to make an impact, that he should be able to flourish.
And I think previously when he would come in and Chris Goulding would go out, they might have lost a little bit of offensive production, but last year we didn't see that. If anything, he may have been just as good as Chris, if not better. He was confident out there. He took the right shots. He got extra possessions for his team. He was at the rim. And defensively, he was great, as we see another great defensive possession by Altunis down there. But they didn't lose when he was out there. So I think that's going to really be great for his confidence coming into a new system.
Now, Tuntis has been just doing the work defensively. Nothing gets past him. Hunter wins one back for his team, though. And Dash draws a crowd. Schwartz in transition.
Deserved to go down.
Did. That was a great pass by Dash. Just to have that confidence and poise in the key to find that open man.
I thought he was going to take that shot, and I was like, that's the ultimate confidence. Bouncing off the defender. The ball's going to stay with the Phoenix. Fresh 14. Gales coaching staff barking instructions that we can hear from the other end of the stadium.
And then you look down the other end at Phoenix, and apart from Gibbo getting up, everyone's just cool, calm and collected down there.
Dash just kicking that ball out of bounds. Looking like his brother. The younger one.
No Luke Brennan on the bench today for the Phoenix, off with the Emus team at the FIBA Asia Cup. Dan Ryan and Adam Gibson, the assistants today, and Nathan Sobey,
yeah,
of course.
It looks like Nathan Sobey is playing like an assistant. Dent, step through, no good, but he gets a second chance. Gizenas, he can't find his radar in this ball game.
Great job by Hunter to stay vertical there. He has those 3 fouls, so that's that evolution of Geordie Hunter not to pick up that 4th foul in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter.
He'll take a rest now as Ketchalier checks back into the game, but Geordie's put in work in the first 4 minutes of this third quarter, no doubt.
45 plays 37. Quarter number 3 here, the second preseason game for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Glover turns the corner. Vintage Angus Glover.
And he's so hard to guard as that left hand. It's got that awkward shot. The way he can just stop on a dime.
Shoots through contact a lot as well. The amount of and ones he gets on threes is a bit ridiculous at times. As Fennell, step back 3. No good, but the strong rebound by Gizenas.
I don't hate it by Fennell. I like the way he let that one fly. He needs to get himself into this game and build that confidence. And sometimes it's going to be those shots that may not feel like the right shot, but that's where you're going to keep building your confidence as a player.
Foster taking a seat with a 3rd foul. Krebs, who sat for all of 30 seconds, is back in the ball game. Strong take, but Aaliyah is not letting it come easy.
And there's that sneaky length of a Ketchalier as well that catches some players off guard. I'm sure Altu just thought he had the advantage there. He's a lot stronger physically, a lot broader than a Ketchalier, but couldn't get that shot away cleanly.
He did a great job not to foul on that possession. Just stayed vertical, stayed in the possession.
Well, Tuntis is taking a seat. He's got 4 fouls. So Gardner checks back in. Gardner's already embracing the Australian lifestyle. He's got the AFL shorts on. Here's Daniels. Glover in rhythm. No good. And they reset all the way back to half court with 9 on the shot clock.
And one thing I've noticed with the Phoenix as we see a Ketchalier take a nice take and finish at the rim is just their spacing's a little bit off, and that's probably just the start of the season, everyone figuring out what the offense is and where they need to move, but I'm sure Josh King will be really harping on that. It's just making sure we have that spacing so we have the ability to get downhill and get on the rim.
Strong take, finishing through the contact. Vangelis Zugris.
So that'll be 19 points now for Zugris. Really had a strong game. He's got 5 boards as well. 7 of 9 from the field he is now.
So transfer from Louisville in senior year. Put up some big numbers in St Mary's other 2 games in this tour so far. 10, 6 and 5 against the Hawks. And then 11, 6 rebounds, 1 assist and a steal against the Kings in that closed door game. Dash.
That's what we want to see.
It turns the corner, gets to the ring.
I felt like he turned the one down on the very previous pass when he kicked it on again, but he needs to be a bit more aggressive, looking for his at times, and that was a great example of when he does get downhill, he's really hard to stop.
That seems like something that Josh King is going to really endeavour to and succeed at bringing out of him. He's just instilling that confidence.
And that's probably what he just picked up his 3rd foul, but we do see he is so long. He is such a great defender, but it's just going to be that when you're defending, not sticking your hands in. You know, he's so quick, he can stay with any guard in this league. But it's just that last little moment of when you're wanting to get the ball so badly, but just keeping your hands out and using your length in your body and sliding across.
He thought he was taking a seat, but it's Glover instead as Davidson checks back in.
Young legs.
I'm jealous.
So am I.
Really good finish at the ring for Dent.
He's been really impressive. The way he just keeps the flow of this team. He's really strong with the ball. He makes the right decisions. Defensively, he's really active and great pass down there and great finish. But you can see why McConnell puts so much faith and trust in him in this team, the way he runs the team, that he just will go from strength to strength.
Started every game in his sophomore season, which you do not see very often. The confidence in the young man from Wollongong. Fennell. Jeez, you can feel like he wants to take that shot.
He's going to have to here.
Tough looking away. Great D by Daniels once again. And the Phoenix are off here through Davidson. Lost the handle, got it back and puts it in. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Way to stay in their possession. You can just see that the Phoenix have just kind of pulled away a bit. They've had a great start to this third quarter. Really up the defensive pressure, and Gales with a worthy timeout just to figure out where do we kind of counteract that and how do we get more points on the board.
Yeah, the margin is at 14 with a tick under 3 minutes left in this third quarter, I should say. The margin out to a game-high double-figure lead. So this is the perfect time in pre-season to kind of let them play and not call that timeout to see if they can figure it out. For the Phoenix right now, in a situation like this, as Josh King, as this coaching staff, what are the conversations now? Are you looking at growing this lead and making it uncomfortable, or are you getting some of these younger players out on the floor? Are you getting some of these uncontracted guys and seeing how they can go if they can continue building this lead?
I think we'll start to see some of that the longer this game progresses, but right now I don't think Josh King is really too concerned with the score as long as his team is playing the right way, as long as they're executing what they've been working on in their practice sessions and the schemes that they've been trying to put in place on both ends of the floor. And I think he wants to continue to see effort and hustle, defense first, and then just continue to move the ball. You know, Alice earlier spoke about having the right spacing, right? Getting the ball into the right positions in their offensive sets and knowing where those gaps are to then attack, as we saw Dash Daniels do a couple of possessions ago. I really like the way that Akecha is making decisions when he catches the ball out the top as well. You saw him find Ellis bigger on one play. You've seen him attack the closeout on another play. These are the sorts of things Josh King wants to see to continue through these reps here late in this game.
Oh, Bivens did all the hard work and then left it too strong at the cup. Here's Davidson, one of these uncontracted players. Is he going to be the one to don this jersey during the season? And that's not going to do it any harm.
Five points now for Sam Davidson.
He had a big game in that previous one as Bivens just the back foot out of bounds. And that hurts when he had an open lane to the basket.
It's a killer as a player. And he had a nice take there too.
It still boggles my mind sometimes how it happens.
Easily. Very easily. Very easily.
Frustrating as a coach. Foster says that's how you do it.
That is a great take by Daniel Foster down low. Stayed strong in the possession, just split through the defense.
So underrated, understrong as Che. And starting to open up a little bit. Foster again, extra pass. Krebs, hand in his face. Good box out by the Gales. Oh, Bivens putting on the handles. Che finds some space. Bigger says no. Here come the Phoenix. Krebs, same spot. Better result.
And again, starting to know where his spots are in this offense. And again, in transition there, get the ball through hands. Krebs got ahead of the defense and spotted up in that corner, and he wasn't going to miss twice in a row.
And that's a great heads-up play by Ketchelia. He'd missed the one before, but that's what you've got to have from your teammates. Just that belief and confidence that even if you've missed 5 in a row, that on that 6th one, you're going to make it. And I love that acknowledgement afterwards. And I think we've really sung the praise of Ketchelia, but also very warranted. Just the way he's come out. He's made the right decisions, right plays, right passes, and he's got great leadership out there. So that's really promising to see.
4 assists now today for Aliir. And he really continues just to make the right decisions, as we spoke about earlier. But I like the fact that the Phoenix, as this game's gone on, seem to have been finding higher quality shots. Their field goal percentage continues to tick up. It's 52% now for the game. And the more these players get familiar with each other, and there's a few new faces there, but the more reps they get together, it's only going to benefit them as they head into the Blitz in a couple of weeks' time in Bendigo.
Speaking of the Blitz, sorry, Alice, 2nd of September is when the NBL Blitz starts. Phoenix, they play on opening day. It's a Wednesday against the Sydney Kings, and then on the 5th of September, 2 days later, against the Brisbane Bullets. And, the Bullets are looking like a really fun team as well. Head to nbl.com.au for all of your tickets and information regarding the NBL Blitz.
Pressure from Davidson up the floor there.
Talking about the Bullets, it's exciting to see Will Weaver back in the league. Just to play under him would be such a luxury.
Can I tell you, I was at Bullets practice on Tuesday. I was up in the Gold Coast for a few days, and I went to visit with Will and got a chance to watch them practice. And it's just a different atmosphere than what we've seen there in the last few years.
Coach.
He really is. He's set the tone early. The way they want to play, he's brought in some great assistants. Henna Medela there as one of his top assistants as well. Took the reins of a lot of that practice. But the way they want to play, this new group, some of the new faces, it's just an exciting new era for the Brisbane Bullets, and I hope they have a lot of success this season, and I know they will in the future under Will Weaver.
No good, just on the buzzer. Close between shot clock, game clock. Davidson says, I don't care about the shot clock.
He's looking for a 2-for-1, I think.
Yeah, and Foster's too strong.
Everywhere.
What is happening out here? Foul call. That's on Che. I'll be perfectly honest, I have no clue what just happened. But Foster is heading to the line for 2 free throws, apparently.
Bonus free throws, I believe.
So we can all take a deep breath as Foster heads to the charity stripe. 15.6 points, almost 8 rebounds, and over 5 assists, and 2.4 steals for the Keilor Thunder in the 2026 NBL 1 South season that wrapped up last night with the Frankston Blues taking home their inaugural NBL 1 South Championship in one of the greatest games I've ever seen live in terms of the game itself and the atmosphere. It was insane.
So that's that. I think you got a bit of a hook, but that's that defense that we do know that Josh King wants his players to play, but sometimes you can give up that open lane, and that's when that second line of defense constantly has to help. So I love the effort by Daniel Foster, but that's when maybe you've just got to give that little bit of a step and give him a little bit. He wants to get downhill on the ring. Bivens, that's his game. So just making sure you're giving them that little extra bit of step of kind of cushioning.
So for you as a teammate, how are you communicating with your, with the guards or with the bigs? How are you trying to figure that out? Because yes, it's pre-season, we can work it out, but if you're the one who's having to commit all these fouls, you're going to be starting to get frustrated.
Look, I just think you just got to say keep them in front. Trust that we're all here to help you. We're here to back you, but keep them in front, defend your man, and just say, you've got no screen, you've got nothing there, but just keep them and push them to the defense. So whether they push middle or whether they push baseline, I think they would probably push middle as their defensive rule.
Foster with a lovely dump-off pass. Bigger's going to head to the free throw line.
Really made the most of his opportunities today, Ellis Bigger. We know he had some struggles in that second half against the B-League United team the week before, but really acquitted himself well today in the opportunities he's had. Finished strongly, had some nice touch, but finds himself in the right places as well. And again, another player who hasn't seen much action at all at NBL level, but has some good opportunities ahead of him this year as a DP, just to provide further depth to Josh King. But these reps in pre-season are very important for a young man like that.
And this is by no means an easy matchup for him. He's got a couple of very big guys that he's matching up on. and physical. No good at the free throw line. 6 seconds here for the Gales. Bivens gets so far away. Aaliyah just volleyball swats it down. And we go to three-quarter time with the Phoenix leading this one by 20. 65 plays 45. If you're a fan of this home team, you're pretty happy with what you're seeing right now.
Absolutely. Big quarter for the Phoenix, 27-12 that time. And, you know, defensively was where they were really impressive, but their defense then leads to good opportunities offensively in transition, and that was great to see that quarter. If you've liked what you've seen today, there are 2 more opportunities to get to Phoenix games in preseason. The 22nd of August against Melbourne United, the Crosstown preseason throwdown here at the State Basketball Centre. That's next Saturday night. And then the following Thursday, the 27th, against the Cairns Taipans, again back here at SBC. You can get your tickets for both of those games via Access. Just head to the Phoenix website. All the information's there for you. And then don't forget, the Phoenix are back for the NBL 27 regular season in late September. It all starts with relighting the fire pit against, again, Melbourne United on Thursday, September 24th at John Cain Arena. That is the night before the Friday public holiday, the grand final public holiday, so no excuse to not get there. Tickets for all the John Cain Arena games go on sale on the 26th of August, so keep an eye on the Phoenix socials for all the information about that. And, of course, if you want to have the best seats for every game for the Phoenix, you can become a member today. Just visit membership.semphoenix.com.au, and I'm sure they will look after you with a great package ahead of what is sure to be a very, very exciting NBL 27 season.
And Alice, that third quarter really dominated by the Phoenix. What are your key takeaways for the Gales as they head into this final quarter?
Look, I think they've been really good keeping it within 20 points, I guess, and that probably isn't the reflection of how the game has gone, but it just showed that when Zugris was out of the game and when you didn't have Dent scoring, they really didn't have that much scoring power. But full credit to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They came out with really good intention. They were great on the defensive end. They were out in transition. They were making all the right plays. But this is the maturity, and this is where you've got to see the St. Mary's players step up. They're going to be faced with adversity all through the NCAA season, all throughout their careers. So this is when you really see who has that character and who can step up in this fourth quarter and really keep this a close game for them.
It's pretty clear that Josh King and the Phoenix staff watched those first 2 preseason games as they're underway with a very quick start. And we'll pause the game for just a... Oh, something's gone on.
It's Deng Dut down on the ground. I didn't see what happened there.
Yeah, but there's a very frustrated Kevin Gadd as well, who's having to seemingly be potentially separated. There was a slip on the floor for sure. And seemingly all smiles in the end. Phoenix take possession. As I was saying, pretty clear that the Phoenix are very aware of the ability of Montas Gizenas, who has averaged 20 points in these first 2 games on this tour out here. Just the 5 points, 2 of 7 from the field. He's had a pretty tough afternoon so far. Here's Dash getting in the kit bag, gets it to go and one. A confident Dash is a scary Dash.
He has a big size advantage over Cooper Lewis. Once he got deep into the paint, it was all over for Lewis there. And a very confident take from Dash Daniels, and gets back to the free throw line again. He's already attempted, 6 free throw attempts. That's attempt number 7. Unfortunately, can't get that one to go.
The Gales would want that possession back. They didn't know who was getting the ball.
Fresh 14 here for the Phoenix. Deng Dut finds Glover on the inbound. Aaliyah, second chance points. They catch Aaliyah. It's so good to see him back on the floor. He's making up for lost time. There he is again.
And there's that defensive pressure by the Phoenix. All 3 guards were up basically at the baseline. And that was the only pass that he could let off, was just a baseball pass, long court.
Kevin Gadd with the active hands.
Aaliyah thought he got fouled there.
And then Schwartz called for the foul. Altuntas heading back to the free throw line.
I think this is where the Gales still need to be really poised in their offense, not take quick shots. It's a preseason game. They're still figuring out their offense and the style of play that they want to play under a new coach. So it isn't the moment to come out and jack threes. It's the moment to keep working on your system and really finessing that system, getting the ball inside, going to what's working for them, and that's been really, really important for them. So just kind of staying in the moment and figuring out what works for this team.
I like that one-handed free throw attempt from Altuntas. You don't see that very often. It's kind of Alicia Froling style.
With the left hand as well.
Yeah.
And Alicia Froling with another championship under her name last night. She's had a big year.
She just collects them for fun. And Schwartz, no good, right in the breadbasket of Dash. Aaliyah, no good for three. And a strong box out by the Gales. And just on mentioning, the areas of improvement here for this St. Mary's team, as Aaliyah comes up with a massive block. And park that thought for a second. Glover and Schwartz, too unselfish. A big block. Back and forth we go.
That's the third block for Aaliyah down the other end. He has 6 stocks now, 3 steals, 3 blocks. As that one somehow falls for Gad.
Soft rings here at the State Basketball Centre.
Daniel's picking up his 4th personal foul.
Hunter back on the floor for the Phoenix. Gardner back on for St. Mary's. So 10 new faces for this St. Mary's team. Alice, as a player, coming into a completely new system where these players haven't played together before, how long does it typically take to build up some sort of chemistry?
How long's a piece of string, really? Look, I think it really depends on how driven it comes from the coach and from the coaching staff. How are we really paying attention to our system and what we want to be about as a team? And I think that's really where it comes from, top down. And you make it a thing that if you're not going to buy into this system, then you probably won't play. So, look, it seems like McConnell's really trying to hone in on that system. They're playing with a style of play, but it's going to take some time. There's going to be teething issues. They're a new team, and they're young boys at the end of the day. So they're still trying to work out where they fit in a team. Gets a nice offensive rebound.
Schwartz just ripped it away.
Yeah.
He just said that is my ball. There's a foul in transition.
I think it's also important to remember that most colleges don't actually start their official preseason until September. Now, we're still in August, and this team is around the other side of the world playing competitive games against professional teams. So, it's very early in their process, and these games, this time together, these reps together will really benefit them once they get into their regular schedule back in California.
So 10 new players and a new and first-time coach. It's a very different looking St. Mary's to what fans are used to. Glover no good, but Schwartz, he's got the hard hat on.
He's starting to have an impact. Here's Deshaun Schwartz. We're starting to learn a bit more about what he's about.
Yeah, Josh King would be incredibly happy at that. Dump off to Gardner with the 2-hand jam.
And when you're playing in a team that has such great shooters like a Glover, Tanner Krebs, you've still got Nathan Sober to come in. Sometimes as that 4 position, you find it hard to get yourself into the game. So that's where it's really going to be great for Schwartz to get offensive rebounds and get extra possessions that way for this team.
Glover keeps it alive, but it falls in the lap of the Gales. Who wants his ball more?
Ooh.
Schwartz sticks out.
He's got a kick.
He sticks out the Kobe. And it'll go back the way of St. Mary's.
Darius Bivens back into the game for the Gales. Replaces Josh Dent.
What do you think about Deshaun Schwartz's shoes? They are
I'm not the guy to ask
colourful,
about
to
shoe
say
games.
the least.
extravagant. Kobe 9s, I think. What does? Is Tanner Krebs called for the foul?
You seem like a sneakerhead. I wouldn't have any clue. All I can see is the rainbow right here.
Considering how far away we are, that's pretty
I have
good.
to say though, like as a rep coach, when I come up against players on other teams that wear shoes like that, my first thought is they better be able to back them up. But I think he's doing just that.
He's done exactly that so far. His first outing here in Australia, and he's doing what he can. His quick release from the corner's no good. And Krebs is off and running.
I love how Krebs is trying to beat the defence down the floor whenever he can, and that's going to put him in really good stead this season in this Phoenix system.
Can't respond with a three. And Glover, who we've seen play a good amount of point guard, finds the open shooter in the corner. Third time's the charm for Tanner Krebs.
I think everyone thought Glover was looking for Hunter on that play as Gardner's going to go up and get another easy two here. And then he kicked it to Krebs last second in the corner.
And that's where the defense has got to help Geordie Hunter. He was down there low. That's a nice find to Geordie Hunter. But he was down there diving to get open. And when they make that three-point shot, someone's got to help him. He can't go baseline to baseline and defend. And you can see his frustration. And there's those moments where the other players on the court have to help him out.
Deng Dutt now with 5 assists.
Extra pass to Gardner. He's had a nice impact in this second half.
Yeah, I think he's got 6 points in this fourth quarter alone.
Let's do it. Glover this time in the corner. And it's the same result.
Phoenix have now made 10 triples, 10 of 29, solid 34%.
Well, considering they were 2 for 10 in the first quarter alone, unbelievable stuff from them. Here's Gardner.
Again.
Have yourself a fourth quarter. Bodies flying everywhere in the paint. Everyone's tangled up. Everyone seems to be fine. And we'll have a timeout called here by St. Mary's halfway through this fourth quarter. Margin out to 21 points. Just a bit of a calm down timeout for everyone.
Zugris just looks absolutely exhausted, and it's absolutely warranted. He's played a great game out there tonight. He's really kept it alive for his team. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. It's been really impressive for this team.
27 minutes is a big load in a preseason game.
Especially when they've played back-to-back games against not just another college team, but professional men basketball.
Thursday in Wollongong. Was it Saturday morning?
No, Friday
in Sydney.
In Sydney.
And now we're Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne, and they got one more game.
Tomorrow night, just down the road at Dandenong Stadium against the Dandenong Rangers.
Right.
And then I believe they might have another game, if I'm not mistaken.
They're playing Cairns?
Yeah, I believe in Melbourne, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm excited to watch Cairns this season. Cairns is going to be one to watch. My man Adam Ford, can't wait to see what he's going to produce with that team.
Yeah, and I like their signing the other day of Jalen Galloway, just to kind of round out that roster. It's a very different look for a Cairns Taipans team. Usually all about the youth and the development of young stars, but now bringing a few veterans in. Yeah,
bring in Pinder and then Jalen Galloway.
Yep.
We saw how impressive he was in Sydney last season, and I'm sure he's going to be looking to step it up even better. So they're going to be an exciting team to watch.
All tips off September 19. We've got the Blitz coming before that as well in Bendigo. Daniels with the row board, no good. And then elite work by Tiffins, just ripped it away.
Cairns also has some guy named Jack McVeigh who I hear is pretty good too.
He can shoot the ball every now and again. Foster skies for the rebound. Now Glover lobs it up for Hunter. Can't get it to go. We haven't had one of those monster jams in this game yet. Oh, we did from Zugris, if I'm not mistaken. As Alice Bigger comes back in. Ketchalier takes a seat. Kingsley Box is in as well for the Phoenix.
Something I really liked about Dash Daniels tonight is his activity on the boards, especially on the offensive boards. He's really been getting those extra possessions for this team. He's up to 7 rebounds. He's got 12 points. 7 rebounds and 4 assists. So that's a really nice hit up for him.
Yeah, 3 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
There he is with another one.
Working on a double-double.
So they'll slow it down for a sec.
I like that from Foster.
Oh, there's Bigger.
Really like that. Fake the handoff, attacked, through the help coverage, and an easy dump off to Ellis Bigger.
Nathan Sobey's almost on the court. He's that pumped. Bivens lost the handle. That'll stay with the Gales. 14 on the shot clock. Kevin Gadd back on the floor as Cooper Lewis takes a seat.
And Flynn Pavley just checked in. The big 7-foot Aussie from Sydney's Northern Beaches out of French's Forest. His first action. Coach Mickey McConnell likes what he's seen from Pavley earlier in some of their practices. Obviously very early in his collegiate journey, but
he only started basketball in 2023.
Yeah.
He's an elite cricketer. It's impressive.
He was handy with the ball, that's for sure.
Wow.
When you're that tall, you get, as long as he wasn't an off-spin bowler, that would annoy so many coaches. 3 seconds here. Just beats the buzzer, but it's off for Fennell.
That was 3 years ago. My gosh. I'm impressed.
You can't teach height. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely can't.
There's Davidson. Found a bit of space on the miscommunication. Ellis Bigger, geez, he's battling for that. He won the rebound and drew the foul.
I like how Bigger's played in his limited minutes today. So again, keeping it simple, playing within the system, rolling hard to the basket, and finishing well when he does have those opportunities. He hasn't missed a shot yet.
Jack King on the floor. His first minutes in this ball game. Man from Adelaide, here he is, immediately gets in on the action. And the less said about that shot, the better.
Oh, well. Sometimes you got to let it fly when you come on the court.
He's on the floor and I'm up here. What can I can't say too much. Final 2.5 minutes of this ball game. Margin out to 23. Fennell gets himself a shot from the mid-range.
It's his first bucket. It'd be nice for him to just see one go down here in his home city.
Here's King again. Davidson, a little bit out of control. And the Gales have a chance to push here through Gadd. Go straight inside.
Aussie to Aussie. Couldn't get
footwork there from the big man.
Nice.
Davidson probing again. He wants to get in on this action. Finds Bigger, dives to the basket. He earned those free throws. Very confident performance here from Ellis Bigger in this ball game.
And the Phoenix are going to need a good backup sound 4-5 man. Like you said, Tom, they're not really that deep in that 4-5 position. So if Geordie Hunter goes down with fouls or hopefully not an injury or anything like that, you're going to need someone who Josh King can rely on, and he's been really impressive so far.
Yeah, Giannis Moran, who's coming in as their third import, will play some 4 and 5. So kind of like John Brown did last year, but certainly do need some extra depth at that 5 position. And Aaliyah will give them some of that, and I think Ellis Bigger will have his opportunities at some point this season as well.
Feels like you're deliberately not mentioning Hunter Goodrick.
No,
he's more of a 4.
He's not here today.
He's
out of
4.
sight, out of mind.
Great take by Fennell. Just reading the defense on that Spanish action. All the defense went to the other offenders, so great take for him and his confidence.
Yeah, Davidson just caught in two minds, whether to shoot or to go.
I do see Goodrick as more of a 4, though,
Yeah,
to be fair.
you're right.
He can play some small ball 5, but he's just 6'8".
Just
6'8".
He's 6'8".
I think that's right, isn't it?
He's about that. Well, maybe not quite. I don't have him on my list today because I knew he wasn't playing.
I need to Google this.
Did you think he was
He's
tall?
not
or
6'8".
shorter than that?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Doot draws the foul. He's got a pair of free throws coming his way.
I could be wrong. First thing Hunter Goodrick hiked. Oh my God, 2 metres. Wow, 6'8".
6'7", 6'7".
Oh,
Yeah.
much of a muchness,
Yeah.
isn't it? Wow.
But yes, he doesn't have like true 5-man size. Plays very hard though.
So bigger to the free throw line.
Don't forget there are still tickets available for next Saturday's game against Melbourne United here at the State Basketball Centre. Get to access for all of your ticket information. Head to the Phoenix website, head to their socials. You'll find everything you need to get your tickets. Get a look at Joe Ingles, Chris Golding. Not sure if Cole Anthony will be playing in that one, but it's possible.
The United are going to be an interesting one this season under Jacob Chance. He's been with the Spurs in San Antonio, and he's got the opportunity to be a head coach. But they're a little bit of a new look team, so it'll be really interesting to see how they play in their identity under a new coach.
Nice pass inside, and there's Pavley. There's a true 7-footer right there. No arguing about his height.
I think as surprising as the Cole Anthony signing was, I think the signing that caught most of us by surprise for Melbourne United was Luke Travers.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's just a great get for them because he's so versatile and he's been away for 2 years in an NBA system, in a G League system. And so the Luke Travers we saw with Melbourne United 2 years ago is not the same player he is today. He is a lot better. And he can play from 2 through 4, really. They can certainly defend pretty much any position on the floor. And I think it's going to be a really big year. There's some early buzz for him in terms of all-NBL potential this year. It's really going to be interesting to see, though, who kind of takes the lead in that United system and whether any one player kind of stands out offensively more than others, because I think it'll be a score-by-committee kind of system. They're all so unselfish. They can all play, make, and share. It's going to be really interesting to see how Jacob Chance brings that all together.
Marching back out to 20 as we're into the final minute. They'll go the way of the Phoenix.
It was Trent McLean who missed that one. It's the son of Don McLean, who was the all-time leading scorer at UCLA back in the day. Did have some time in the NBA as well, did Don McLean.
Davidson to
Nice
Bigger.
pass.
And Bigger is stuffing the stat sheet as we end this ball game.
11 points now, 5 boards.
That's
Perfect
just
5 of 5 from the field.
That's just great poise by Davidson. They came off one action, they didn't get what they liked, and they came off another action. Bigger set a great screen. Just found him on that nice little pocket pass. I'm sure Josh King would be really happy with the minutes that he's given him, the poise, great decision making, and that's what you want to see.
Dort will dribble this ball game out. The Phoenix win it by 22 points. 86-64. The scoreboard is almost irrelevant in this ball game, in this preseason as a whole. But the Phoenix do run away. Pretty comfortable winners in the end over the St. Mary's Gales. What are we taking away from this game for the Phoenix, Tom?
I think just another good hit out on their road as they continue to kind of build up towards the Blitz and towards the regular season. You know, great for Dash Daniels to get his first minutes in Phoenix colours after missing the last game a little unwell, and just to kind of see how he fits in the system. Similarly for Tanner Krebs to come back from that injury and just get some cobwebs out of his legs. And again, Deshaun Schwartz just to hit the floor and get some familiarity in these schemes. So continuing to build some nice pieces there. And I think, you know, when we come to next week's game against Melbourne United, potentially Skylar Mays takes the floor, potentially Nathan Sobey's back as well. We'll just continue to kind of get a better idea of what this team's going to look like when they hit the floor in NBL 27. It's not going to be all that different from what we saw last year, just a few different pieces at those import positions and a couple of extra depth positions.
Yeah, they were really impressive. They're acclimating players into this team, and they're trying to really solidify themselves in the way that they play. And like you said, Tom, Josh King is going to play. He's going to have the same style team. But what I was really impressed with was that 20 assists, the way they shared the ball. They've got so many scorers 1 through 5 out there. but the way they were able to make that extra pass, play that unselfish basketball, and then you're adding in players like Asobi and Skylar Mays and people getting their confidence in this system, they're going to look like a really exciting team.
Yeah, one thing that, Tom, I know you are a big fan of is the assists versus field goals, kind of the difference there. 20 assists on 31 field goals. It's what we've come to expect from a Josh King team and a team that plays with the pace like this. So that's absolutely running on trend. Of course, our focus here is on the Phoenix, but for the fans of the St. Mary's Gales, a lot to look forward to very, very early in the process, but we can see that the process is there, and they're going to be a fun team to watch come the 2026-7 NCAA season.
I think so, and again, it's a brand new era under Mickey McConnell after 25 years of Randy Bennett. A chance for him to put his imprint on his team. He told me pre-game, he's been under Randy for a lot of time, but he's also had an 8-year pro career where he's seen a lot of different coaches. So there's different things going through his mind. They're not going to be the same team that they were last year. Obviously, a lot of new faces, but he also wants to get around his players maybe a bit more, build those relationships and kind of build more of that team chemistry. And I think trips like this are really important for that. It's a great opportunity. These teams don't get to travel overseas every pre-season. It's every few years they get to do that. And so they're certainly making the most of this opportunity. And getting some reps against pro players always makes the games kind of seem easier when you get back to that collegiate level.
Yeah, it definitely does, and we can see the style of play that they're playing. They've got a very international flared game, and I love that. I love that they're bringing in that style of basketball, the way that they play. It's really heavily focused inside. They're using their big man. They're really using their strengths, and it will just be how they keep working together and keep acclimatizing together. And like you said, Tom, playing against pro players, it's just going to slow the game down when they get back to that college system. It's going to give them a wealth of experience. They get to see an incredible country in Australia and see many different things and play against many different players. And it gives these young college players something to look up to. Do you want to be a pro player? Where do you want to see your career go? And this is what it takes to get there.
The first time that we got to see Dash Daniels in the Phoenix colours, second leading scorer, 12 points for him, 8 rebounds as well. What did you like from his game, Tom?
Just the confidence level. I mean, Alice spoke about how it looks like he's gotten a bit stronger as well, but I just like the aggression he had on both ends of the floor. We know how good he is defensively on the ball, but I think he's even more confident at doing that. He knows how good he is as well. But some of the offensive reads he makes, some of the downhill drives, really smooth getting to the basket, really confident, and again, not looking like he's under pressure. And I think that maturation in his game from one year to the next is going to be really key for him as he attacks this season. Obviously, that work he's put in the off-season with Wes Matthews and with Overtime Elite in Atlanta has really benefited his game.
And I'm a big person, and I love the efficiency that a player brings. And in this game, he had 20 minutes. He was plus 16 on the efficiency. So he was actually the most efficient player out there for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And that's going to be great for his confidence moving forward. And he may not be a player that plays 30 or 35 plus minutes, so he has to be really efficient when he goes out there. And conversely, that's going to help him when he goes to the NBA. He may not be a player that's playing 40 minutes out there. So what can you do in your time on the floor? How efficient can you be? How much can your coach depend on you to have no turnovers, make the right decisions, play great defense, and then the offense comes as well? So I was really impressed with Dash tonight.
That about wraps it up for us here in the heartland of Australian basketball. The Phoenix come away 21-point winners, but that is not the end of preseason basketball here at the State Basketball Centre.
Yeah, 22nd of August, next Saturday night against Melbourne United, and then the following Thursday, the 27th, against the Cairns Taipans. NBL versus NBL action for the first time for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Don't miss those games, and check out the Phoenix website for all details on how to get those tickets. We'll be back covering those games as well. You can catch the live stream as you did today on YouTube or via the NBL app and NBL website. But, Jamie, that'll about do it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely does all as we get set up for a massive NBL 27 season. Alice, I know you can't wait for it. You're going to be a big part of it this upcoming year. And, I mean, if this is just a taste of it, how good is the main feast going to be come September? Yeah,
it's going to be a great season ahead. I think every year the NBL just gets bigger and better. And the same with the WNBL and the calibre calibre of players that we're bringing into the country and our Australian talent. Just such an exciting game, and what Larry's done to promote this league and to make it just one of the best leagues in the world is super impressive. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. I know you guys are too, and can't wait for what's ahead.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for us here at the State Basketball Centre. The Phoenix Runaway 22-point winners.